Welcome to Vietnam, a country that will change everything you thought you knew. You've heard the rumors, you've seen the photos, but nothing prepares you for the reality of Vietnam and the extraordinary beauty that awaits here. This isn't just another travel destination. This is a country where ancient traditions meet modern allure, where the women possess a natural elegance and grace that has captivated travelers for generations. Their porcelain skin, long dark hair, and traditional Ao Dai dresses create an image of timeless beauty that seems almost unreal. But here's what nobody tells you about Vietnamese women. It's not just their physical appearance that makes them unforgettable. It's something much deeper, something that connects to the very soul of this nation. And by the end of this journey, you'll understand exactly what makes Vietnam truly different from anywhere else on Earth. The geography that shaped a nation. Vietnam stretches along the eastern coast of Southeast Asia like a dragon awakening from slumber. This S-shaped country covers over 331,000 square kilometers, extending more than 1,650 kilometers from north to south. But here's the shocking part. Despite its length, Vietnam is incredibly narrow in some places, with the central region measuring just 50 kilometers wide at its thinnest point. Imagine an entire nation squeezed into a space narrower than the distance many people commute to work. The country borders China to the north, Laos to the northwest, and Cambodia to the southwest. To the east and south, Vietnam opens up to the South China Sea, with a stunning coastline that extends over 3,160 kilometers. This geographical position has been both a blessing and a curse throughout history. But what does this unique shape mean for the country today? It means Vietnam contains an incredible diversity of landscapes compressed into one nation. From misty mountains to pristine beaches, from dense jungles to fertile river deltas. And this diversity has created something unexpected in the people who live here. Mountains, deltas, and the landscapes between. Northern Vietnam rises into dramatic mountain ranges where terraced rice fields cascade down hillsides like green staircases to heaven. The highest peak, Phan Xipang, reaches 3,143 meters and is often called the roof of Indochina. Here, ethnic minorities maintain traditions that have existed for thousands of years, living in stilted houses and wearing hand-woven textiles that tell stories in every thread. But wait until you hear about the Red River Delta. This fertile plain in the north has been the cradle of Vietnamese civilization for millennia. The red-tinged soil gives the river its name, and this area is so productive, it has fed empires. Hanoi, the capital city, sits at the heart of this delta, a place where ancient temples stand beside French colonial buildings and modern skyscrapers. Central Vietnam narrows dramatically, creating a region of stunning contrasts. Mountains plunge directly into the sea. Ancient imperial cities hold secrets from dynasties long gone. And here's something that will blow your mind. This narrow central region has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, places where white sand meets turquoise water with mountain backdrops that seem painted by an artist's brush. The south opens into the Mekong Delta, one of the most productive agricultural regions on the planet. 9 tributaries of the mighty Mekong River spread through this area like the fingers of a giant hand, creating a labyrinth of waterways, floating markets, and fruit orchards. Life here moves at the rhythm of the river. People live on houseboats. Markets operate from wooden boats laden with produce, and the land itself seems to float between water and earth. The women who define a culture. Now we come to what many consider Vietnam's greatest treasure. The women of this country embody a unique combination of strength and grace that has evolved over millennia. In Vietnamese culture, women have traditionally held significant power within families, managing finances and making important decisions even in a society that might appear male-dominated on the surface. The traditional Ao Dai dress tells this story perfectly. Tight-fitting, yet modest, elegant, yet practical, it represents the balance Vietnamese women have mastered. The dress flows with every movement, typically worn over silk pants, and has become a symbol of Vietnamese femininity recognized worldwide. But here's what the Ao Dai really represents. It's a statement of cultural pride that Vietnamese women, the sinful truth about Vietnam. So why would anyone call Vietnam sinful? This brings us to a crucial truth about this country that connects everything we've discussed. Vietnam offers freedoms and experiences that challenge conservative expectations. The nightlife in major cities pulses until dawn. The beach towns attract party seekers from around the world. The dating scene, especially for foreign men, offers opportunities that would be impossible in more traditional Asian societies. But calling Vietnam sinful misses the deeper reality. This is a country that has learned to balance pleasure with tradition, freedom with family values, modern desires with ancient wisdom. The same woman who enjoys cocktails at a rooftop bar on Saturday might spend Sunday with her grandmother learning to make traditional pho. The country that welcomes millions of tourists seeking beaches and parties also maintains temples where monks have prayed for centuries. The perceived sinfulness is actually a sophisticated cultural openness. Vietnam has been influenced by Chinese Confucianism, French Catholicism, Buddhist philosophy, and communist ideology. Rather than being torn apart by these competing influences, Vietnamese culture has absorbed elements from each while maintaining its distinct identity. This creates a society that's remarkably tolerant and non-judgmental compared to many of its neighbors. Here's the truth that makes Vietnam both exciting and comfortable for visitors. There's space for everyone here. Conservative travelers find respectful, family-oriented culture. Adventure seekers find activities ranging from motorbiking through mountain passes to diving in pristine waters. And yes, men seeking romance find a society where dating across cultures is accepted and even celebrated, as long as respect and genuine connection are present. The food that becomes an obsession. Vietnamese cuisine has conquered the world, but experiencing it in Vietnam transforms understanding completely. Pho, the iconic noodle soup, varies dramatically from north to south. Hanoi's version uses a clear, delicate broth with just a few herbs. Saigon's piao comes loaded with sprouts, basil, lime, and chili, reflecting the South's more abundant growing conditions and bolder flavors. But pho is just the beginning. Banh mi sandwiches, served from sidewalk carts throughout the country, combine French baguettes with Vietnamese ingredients in a fusion that shouldn't work, but absolutely does. Bun cha, grilled pork with noodles, became internationally famous when President Obama ate it with Anthony Bourdain in a humble Hanoi restaurant. Cao Lao, found only in Hoi An, uses water from a specific local well, according to tradition, giving the noodles a unique texture impossible to replicate elsewhere. Here's what most people never realize about Vietnamese food. It's incredibly healthy. The emphasis on fresh herbs, the use of fish sauce instead of heavy oils, the abundance of vegetables, all create a cuisine that's flavorful without being heavy. The beaches where time stops. Vietnam's coastline remains surprisingly undiscovered compared to Thailand or the Philippines. Nha Trang, with its sweeping bay and offshore islands, has become popular, but still maintains authenticity that resort towns elsewhere have lost. The clear water, the fresh seafood, the beachfront atmosphere creates a vibe that's relaxed without being boring. Phu Quoc Island, off the southern coast, offers a different experience. This is Vietnam's largest island, with beaches that rank among Asia's finest. Long Beach stretches for 20 kilometers of soft white sand and warm water. But here's the secret about Phu Quoc. The island produces some of Vietnam's best fish sauce and pepper, giving even beach resort restaurants access to incredible ingredients. Con Dao Islands represent Vietnam's best-kept secret. This archipelago, once home to brutal prisons during French colonial rule, has transformed into an ecological paradise. Sea turtles nest on protected beaches. Coral reefs teem with tropical fish, and the number of visitors remains low enough that you can have entire beaches to yourself. The Central Coast deserves special mention. From Da Nang North to the Hai Van Pass, the scenery becomes almost surreal. Mountains covered in jungle plunge directly into the sea. Hidden coves, accessible only by boat, offer swimming in water so clear you can see fish from the surface. And beaches like An Bang and Mai Khe provide all the beauty of tropical paradises, with a fraction of the crowds found elsewhere in Southeast Asia. The history that shaped everything. Understanding modern Vietnam requires knowing its history, and that history is nothing short of extraordinary. For over 1,000 years, Vietnam existed under Chinese domination. Rather than being absorbed, Vietnamese culture developed in opposition and relation to Chinese influence, creating a distinct identity. Independence came in 938 AD, but the next 1,000 years brought constant challenges. Mongol invasions, internal conflicts, territorial expansion south into lands controlled by the Champa Kingdom and the Khmer Empire. Through it all, Vietnamese identity strengthened. French colonization in the 19th century created the Indochina colony, bringing European influence that remains visible today. The architecture, the coffee culture, the baguettes all arrived during this period. But French rule also planted seeds of resistance that would eventually explode into revolution. The wars of the 20th century, first against France and then involving the United States, defined Vietnam for a generation. The resilience shown during these decades created a national character that remains evident. The Vietnamese don't see themselves as victims. They see themselves as survivors who earned their independence through determination and sacrifice. Here's what makes modern Vietnam so fascinating. The country has moved beyond its war-torn past with remarkable speed. Relations with former enemies have normalized. The economy has opened. And the population, most of whom were born after the wars ended, focuses on the future rather than the past. This forward-looking attitude creates an optimism that's infectious. In 1986, Vietnam launched Doi Moi, a series of economic reforms that opened the country to market forces while maintaining political stability. The results have been remarkable. Poverty rates have plummeted from over 70% in the 1980s to under 5% today. Foreign investment has poured in. Manufacturing has exploded. The coffee culture that rivals Italy. Vietnam produces coffee that's among the world's finest, yet most people don't know it. The country is the world's second-largest coffee exporter, but the best beans often stay in Vietnam, used in a coffee culture that has become central to daily life. Vietnamese coffee differs dramatically from Western coffee. It's typically made with a small metal filter called a fin, which slowly drips concentrated coffee over sweetened condensed milk and ice. The result is rich, sweet, and incredibly strong. Sitting in a Vietnamese cafe, watching your coffee slowly drip into the glass becomes a meditation on patience and quality. Kia Phi Trung, egg coffee, was invented in Hanoi and remains a specialty there. Egg yolk whipped with sugar, and coffee creates a creamy dessert-like drink that shouldn't work, but absolutely does. It's rich, sweet, and unlike anything you've tasted. Why men over 40 find Vietnam irresistible. For men in their 40s and beyond, Vietnam offers something increasingly rare in the modern world: a culture where maturity is valued. Youth-obsessed Western societies often marginalize older men in dating markets. Vietnam operates differently. A mature man with stability, experience, and resources is considered highly desirable. The reasons go beyond economics, though financial security certainly matters in a developing country. Vietnamese culture values wisdom and experience. A man in his 40s or 50s is seen as having learned from life, as being more reliable and serious than younger men. The maturity that Western dating markets sometimes penalize becomes an asset in Vietnamese culture. Cross-cultural relationships face challenges anywhere, but Vietnam's openness to international connections creates space for genuine relationships to develop. The country has a long history of interaction with foreigners, and there's less of the xenophobia that can complicate relationships in some Asian countries. Here's the honest truth that makes this work. Mutual benefit doesn't preclude genuine connection. Yes, a Western man offers financial stability and the possibility of a better life. Yes, a Vietnamese woman offers youth and beauty. But these pragmatic considerations exist alongside real attraction, compatibility, and the possibility of love. The most successful cross-cultural relationships acknowledge practical realities while building something deeper. The night markets, where magic happens. As darkness falls, Vietnamese cities transform. Night markets emerge in spaces that were ordinary streets by day. Vendors set up stalls, selling everything from clothing to street food. The energy shifts from the frenetic pace of daytime to something more relaxed and social. Hanoi's weekend night market, around the Old Quarter, creates a pedestrian zone where locals and tourists mingle freely. The air fills with the smell of grilled meat, the sound of bargaining, the sight of young people on dates, and families out for evening strolls. This is Vietnam at its most accessible, when the barriers between visitor and local dissolve. Ben Thanh Night Market in Ho Chi Minh City offers a more commercial experience, but remains authentic. The food section serves some of the city's best street food in a concentrated space that's perfect for trying multiple dishes. The atmosphere, while touristy, maintains Vietnamese energy and flavor. Hoi An's night markets might be the most beautiful in the country. The ancient town glows with thousands of silk lanterns. The markets sell handcrafted items alongside tourist trinkets, and the setting, along the river with illuminated bridges and traditional architecture, creates an atmosphere of timeless beauty. These markets serve a purpose beyond commerce. They're social, spaces where Vietnamese people gather, where the day's work gives way to leisure, where the community reaffirms itself through shared experience. Participating in a Vietnamese night market means temporarily joining that community, experiencing the country not as an outsider, but as a welcome guest. The future that's being written now. Vietnam stands at a fascinating moment in its history. The country is young, ambitious, and increasingly connected to the world. The internet has penetrated even rural areas. Social media influences fashion, attitudes, and aspirations. Yet traditional values remain strong, creating a dynamic tension between old and new. The government is investing heavily in education and infrastructure. New bridges, highways, and airports are transforming connectivity. The education system produces graduates with technical skills that make Vietnam competitive globally. And the population's hunger for progress drives changes at a pace that sometimes feels dizzying. But here's what makes Vietnam's future particularly interesting. The country is developing while maintaining its identity. Unlike some rapidly modernizing nations that seem to lose their cultural distinctiveness, Vietnam is finding ways to be both thoroughly modern and deeply Vietnamese. The woman in traditional Ao Dai might be a software engineer. The real reason Vietnam captures hearts. After exploring Vietnam's geography, culture, people, and possibilities, a pattern emerges. This is a country that rewards those who look deeper, who move beyond surface impressions, who engage with genuine curiosity. The real Vietnam doesn't reveal itself in a week-long beach vacation. It emerges through repeated visits, through friendships with locals, through the accumulation of experiences that build understanding. The women of Vietnam, who we've discussed throughout this journey, embody this depth. Their beauty opens doors, but their character, their strength, their balance of tradition and modernity, that's what captivates long-term. The same applies to the country itself. The stunning landscapes attract visitors. The culture, the food, the warmth of the people, that's what creates lasting connections. Vietnam isn't sinful in any meaningful sense. It's alive, open, complex, and welcoming to those who approach with respect. The freedoms it offers, the experiences it provides, the connections it enables, these emerge from a sophisticated culture that has learned to embrace complexity rather than fear it. This is why Vietnam continues to surprise, to challenge assumptions, and to reward those who take the time to truly explore what it offers. So, where in the world are you watching this from? Have you been to Vietnam, or is this your first introduction to this incredible country? Drop a comment below and let us know what surprised you most about Vietnam. What are you most excited to experience if you visit? And here's something that really helps us grow this channel and costs you absolutely nothing. See that hype button right next to the like button? Give it a click. It's a free way to support our work and help us bring you more content about fascinating destinations around the world. We genuinely appreciate every single person who takes a second to do that. Thank you so much. And before you go, check out one of the videos on your screen right now. We've got incredible content about destinations that will absolutely blow your mind. Click one now and discover something amazing. Safe travels, and we'll see you in the next one.